Hello guys, it's James here and welcome here to today's video. At the moment it's the international break, which I absolutely hate due to three reasons. One of the reasons, it means Manchester United aren't in action that weekend. Second reason, most of the time Manchester United players, like Henrik Mkhitaryan has, gets injured. And third reason, most of the time it's just irrelevant friendlies or European qualifiers which nobody really likes. So, I was thinking, what video can I do during the international break to pass by the time, and I thought, why not better do my Manchester United FIFA 17 rating. So here we are. I'm going to bring you 21 Manchester United players rated on FIFA 17 and my opinion on why I give it them. Hope you enjoy the video. So the lowest rating out of the 22 Manchester United players I will be rating is Ashley Young, I have given a 78 overall. I just don't think he's proven enough recently. He didn't get enough game time over Van Gaal. He hasn't had enough game time under Mourinho so far. So for me, I think a 78 rating for Young, because he hasn't really done enough. But I know he's got the potential to do so. And I think if he went to a club like Newcastle, he would be their star man and probably would get a 78 rating. But for me, Young 78. But please do note that the actual attributes, the pace, the shooting, the passing, the dribbling, the defence and the physicality, are all the same as his FIFA 16 ratings, and they will be for all the players. So yeah, please take that in notice. Next up is Marouane Fellaini, and the big Belgian midfielder for me is a 78 overall on the game. He's shown glimpses of what he can be, and that is a danger in the box with his physical nature. But for me, you know, he's not Manchester United. He's not a Manchester United player in the fact how we're building a team with power, going through the midfield with pace, and he doesn't have that. And for me, I think he's got some attributes, but he hasn't got some attributes, and he's like got half attributes and half he hasn't. So for me, I think he's got to be only a 78 tops. I'm also going to give a 79 rating to England international Marcus Rashford. I definitely think he could drop down lower, because this is his actually first card as an ultimate team, because he wasn't in FIFA 16 completely. So I think he's risen really well. As we all know, he scored 2 goals in his debut in the Premier League. He scored the winner in the Manchester derby. He scored in his England debut as well. So for me, I think Marcus Rashford deserves a 79 overall. Also at the 80 rating is Eric Bailly. I think Eric Bailly, not many people knew him when he came in, and I didn't, to be honest with you, but since he's come in, he's done very well. In his first 4 games, he's got 3 Man of the Match awards, and he looks like a solid beast at the back 4. So for me, Eric Bailly 80, he could go higher if he keeps improving, but he could also drop. I haven't seen enough of him, so I've given him an 80 rating. I also think Antonio Valencia deserves an 80 overall, and that is because so far he started life under Jose Mourinho as an unbelievable player, whipping up the win, and I think he does deserve an 80 overall. He could even have the potential to go higher, just like Eric Bailly, but I also think, you know, on his previous seasons he could even drop down lower. But for me, I think Antonio Valencia overall is an 80. Then for me, Marcos Rojo deserves an 81 overall. I think, you know, he has got that talent in him. You know, he can be a solid rock at the back, and sometimes he can be a liability. That's the only problem with Rojo. You don't know what sort of player you're going to get. When the game is physical and tough, he is a very good defender and he suits that. But when the game is a bit more challenging, or you need a bit more skill or pace, he doesn't really have that. So he can be a bit of a liability at the back. So I've given him an 81 overall. Now on to Daley Blind, who I'm going to give an 81. Daley Blind is such an intelligent footballer. He reads the game so well, and I think he's a really, really good player. He's not, maybe some would say he's not the best in terms of the ability he has and the skill he's got, but I tell you what, as I said, he reads the game very well, and that's what is a massive part to his game. So for me, I think Daley Blind is an 81. Next up is Jesse Lingard, and I think he's a very promising player for Manchester United and England for the future. I'm going to give him an 81 rating, and that's because I think I was really, really impressed with his performances last season. I mean, I know I'm not just judging it on these goals, but he scored the winning goal against Palace, a cracking winning goal against Palace in the FA Cup final. He scored a cracking solo run goal against Leicester as well in the Community Shield. And he scored some vital goals. He scored a great goal against West Brom and a great goal away at Chelsea last season. And I just think he is actually a really good, intelligent young player who has some speed and dimension to his game. So for me,
Next up is Luke Shaw, and for me, I'm going to give him an 83 rating. I've been very impressed with his performances this season. I've been impressed with his performances before when I've seen him. I think he could even go higher for an 84, 85, but I think because he was injured last season, I think 83 is probably where he's at the moment. But I do think he's a really good left back. So for me, Luke Shaw is an 83 overall. Next up is Chris Smalling, and Chris Smalling's a very funny one really actually, because he's grown so much over the years. He's done very well. Last year he was for sure our best defender, and you know, he's become a really good defender now, and he's like one of England's best centre-backs, and he's probably United's best centre-back. But it's funny because he's actually been dropped by Jose Mourinho for the 4 games so far this season. So that's why I'm saying it's a funny one, because I think he's one of our, as I said, I've rated him our highest centre-back, but he's not getting in the team. So it's a funny one, but I do think Smalling has the potential, well, not potential, I do think has the ability to be an 83 overall. Now on to Bastian Schweinsteiger, who in recent FIFAs or past FIFAs has been 86, I believe, 88 I think even before. But for this one I think he's got to drop down to an 83, and that's not because I don't like him as a player. I actually think he's a superb player, and he's a role model to the sport really. He's done superb over his career for Bayern, he's done superb over his national career, and it's starting to come to an end now. But I do think he still has something to offer to Manchester United, and if you wanted to pick him in your FIFA team. So for me, I think Bastian Schweinsteiger should be an 83. He deserves to be dropped down a little bit, but maybe not as much from an 86. I think an 86 to an 83 is probably fair for Bastian Schweinsteiger. The fourth player to be rated 83, in my opinion, is Ander Herrera, and I really do like Ander Herrera as a player. I think he makes Manchester United tick when he comes on. I think, you know, he comes on and he just makes things happen. You know, he'll feed a ball in to the strikers. You know, he'll play some tiki-taka passes. You know what? I really like Ander Herrera as a player. He seems like quite a nice person off the pitch, and he's quickly grown into one of my favourite players at Manchester United, or if not my favourite player at Manchester United at the moment. And that's not why I've given him an 83 rating. It's because he is quite a good player, and that is why I like him, because he really is a good player, and he comes on the pitch, makes things happen, he shows his love to United, and for me I think Ander Herrera is an 83. One of the things which has shocked me over the past FIFAs is how Ander Herrera has not been a gold rare. For me this year he's got to be an 83 and a rare. Next up is Juan Mata, who I'm going to be giving an 84 rating. It comes at quite a shock how he's still at Manchester United, to be fair, because when Mourinho came and everyone thought he was going to leave because Mourinho didn't like Mata, but actually we've had 3 Premier League games and Mata has started all 3 Premier League games. And for me, I think Mata is a good player, so I'm going to give him an 84. Into the 85 boundary, and I'm going to start off with Henrik Mkhitaryan. Henrik Mkhitaryan signed for Manchester United from Borussia Dortmund this summer, and he hasn't really been given his chance under Mourinho yet, but I believe he will. And what I saw of him against Hull, I think he has got something special in him which he can add to this team. But more importantly, what he did at Dortmund last season, his stats, for me, speak volume of 23 goals and 26 assists in 52 Bundesliga games for a midfielder is incredible. So for me, I think Henrik Mkhitaryan is an 85 rated based on last season. He deserves it. Also an 85 rating is Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney has always been a high rated player in FIFA for Manchester United, and some people don't believe he should always be how high he has been rated. But for me, I think he is an 85 rated. What he's done for Manchester United over the years, what he's done for England over the years, and I still think he can show what he's got. I still think he's a good player, but for me I think he has got to be downgraded to an 85 rating this season. Now on to Anthony Martial, who I'm going to be giving an 85 rating with Rooney and Mkhitaryan. Now Martial, when he signed for Manchester United from Monaco last year, not many people knew about him, and most people thought he was a panic buy for the price he spent on him on deadline day. But in the end, he proved to be a very good player, and Van Gaal actually captured a very good signing in Martial. He came and he did quite well. On his debut, he scored against Liverpool, and he kept that momentum going throughout the season. And for me, I think Martial had a very good season to deserve an 85 overall. I think FIFA actually gave him an 82, which I think is a little bit low. But for me, I'm going to give Martial an 85 rating. So my third highest rating for Manchester United is Paul Pogba, and I'm going to give him an 88. And many people think we overpaid for him, but I just think the payment of 93 million just shows how good he is. The fact how United were willing to pay that much. Now on to my second highest rated Manchester United player on FIFA 17, and it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He signed from PSG on a free transfer to Manchester United, and what a bargain that is going to be for United. He's already scored 3 goals in 3 Barclays Premier League matches, 4 in 4 if you include the Community Shield winner. He shows what he can do. He's been almost every big country, almost every big team, and he's done it. And that is what Zlatan Ibrahimovic brings. And he, you know, he's a world-class striker, and for me, he's an 89 overall. And my highest Manchester United player to be rated on FIFA is David De Gea, who I think deserves a 90 overall. Looking at FIFA's top 50 ratings, David De Gea does feature as a 90 rated player, which is good, bearing in mind how many times he saved us on countless amount of occasions in the last 3 seasons. He's even won the last 3 Player of the Year awards at Manchester United, and so for me, I think David De Gea deserves a 90 overall, and for me, he is the highest rated player for Manchester United on the game. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a long one. It's been quite hard. Well, it's taken quite a long time for me to make the video, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do you agree with my prediction? No, not my predictions, my thoughts, my ratings. If you do not agree with them, I'd like to know which ones you don't agree. Comment in the comment section, and of course, if you like this video, then give it a like. But for that, that's it, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.